Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? I was having a hard time getting the tripod. The camera just kept on falling to the side. I was like, oh my gosh, this tripod is gone too. I have the other new tripod in there, and I always think I'm going to use it, and then I don't. So I need to start using it tomorrow. But anyway, how are you guys doing today? Happy Tuesday. Today feels like Monday because yesterday was Labor Day, and Alex was home yesterday. So today kind of feels like a Monday. I, all day, have felt like just really slow. Like I'm just having a hard time getting it together. It was very nice in Indianapolis today. I think it was like in the 80s. It was sunny all day long today. The landscapers were here, and then there was like 4 houses around me where there was a lot of work going on. So it was very loud in the neighborhood, and I was like, I really just want to go to the pool, but the pool's closed. And I wanted to film a Peter Does Stuff video, like walking down to the pool and seeing if they had like put the chain on it yet, locking it up. But I haven't done that. So I think I'm going to save that video for tomorrow, and then we'll walk up to the pool, do a little field trip and walk up to the pool and see if the pool is, if they've officially closed it for the year. But I feel like I should walk down there tonight because it is still really, really nice outside. And so if it's not closed, Laura and I could go for a night swim tonight because it's actually pretty nice out right now. So currently the time is, this is a late vlog. It's crazy that I say this is a late vlog compared to my vlogs that were in the middle of the night before. But anyway, this is a late vlog for me. It is 6:25 p.m. And the temperature is currently, let's see what the temperature is. It is, yeah, it's 83 degrees. I think tomorrow is supposed to be a high of like 70, didn't we say? Oh no, tomorrow, it was supposed to be like 70 tomorrow, wasn't it? Or maybe that was Thursday. Tomorrow is supposed to be 83 again. If the pool is not closed tomorrow, then I might have to go to the pool tomorrow. Because then it goes Thursday is 71, Friday 75, Saturday 71, Sunday 72, Monday 74. I mean, it's in the 70s. Next week, it gets up into the upper 70s, 78, 79, and 80. But for the next week, starting on Thursday, it looks like it's going to be in the low to mid 70s. Which, in all honesty, I'm kind of ready for. When I walk outside and it's warm, I'm kind of like instantly like, I'm ready for a nap. I don't know, I just get so tired so easily in the heat. I mean, I get tired and I'm ready for a nap all the time. That's just always a given. But when it's like warm outside, I'm kind of even more so. Like I walk outside, especially when the dogs are like walking around real slow. I'm kind of like, let's just go inside and take a nap. But, oh, Alex is in the kitchen. I think he's cooking up he got pizza last night. I got Noodles and Company. Was that last night that I got Noodles and Company? Yeah, I got Noodles and Company last night, and Alex got pizza. So anyway, I was like, what did I do last night? I was like, oh, I watched that pageant. I forgot about that. But anyway, so I actually today, well, my day completely got switched around. So I wasn't sure or not if Tanya and I were going to do something tonight or not. Usually after therapy on Tuesdays, because Tanya's is on the way home. So we have therapy from 5 to 6, although next time we have it from 6 to 7. But if Tanya and I are going to do something, Alex just drops me off at Tanya's on the way home. But she texted me like early in the day, and she said that she was just slammed at work and she was really, really tired. And so she was like, do you care if we just skip tonight? I was like, no, not at all. We can do something later in the week. So I knew early on that Tanya and I were not hanging out tonight, which is actually kind of like, I miss Tanya and I would love to hang out with Tanya tonight. But it's kind of a good thing because then I didn't have to get the vlog done before I left. So when we have therapy at 5 o'clock, I have to call an Uber no later than 4:15, which means I have to start getting ready by like 3:30. Well, what's different about this is just in the last, month is that, I mean, Boo passed last October. So for almost the last year, I didn't have to like get like a dog ready and stuff. Well, now with getting Walter and Otis ready, taking them outside, feeding them, all that stuff, getting them ready before I leave, that's like a whole other hour. So I have to really plan ahead. And then I slept in a little bit later. I didn't sleep in late today, but I slept in later than I wanted to. And so I didn't get as many videos filmed as I wanted to. I filmed a drama video. I think my drama video was like 50 some minutes long. I don't even know. Let me see. When I got done with it, I was like, oh, this video is a lot longer than I thought it was. Let's see. I was just reading some comments on my vlog on our way home. Okay, my Peter Monn video today was, I don't have any idea how long it was. Oh, I was right, 52 minutes and 48 seconds. And then I filmed, well then after that I filmed my very first video on my new movie channel. Thank you guys. So many of you were like, oh, I subscribed. People are like letting me know what number. They're like, I'm number like 402, I'm number 139. That's so cute. I love that. That made me so excited last night when people direct messaging me that, but people commented on that too. So to all of you out there that subscribe to my new channel, thank you. I'm so excited about it. To be honest with you, I mean, I knew I was real excited about it. It's like a lot of all I've been thinking about in the last couple days. But I was even more excited when I sat down and filmed the video today. I was like, God, this is so real. So anyway, I filmed that video today, and my welcome to my movie channel video. And then I filmed and that video was like 12 minutes long, I think. And then I filmed a reaction to Unknown Number, the high school catfish documentary that was on Netflix. I filmed that one too. People seem to be really, really interested in that reaction. I actually got tons of requests. I mean, probably more than any TV show that I've ever watched on my Peter Watches TV channel to react to. I probably got more requests to react to that channel than any of that. How long is that video? Hold on a second. That video was long too. That video was 36 minutes. So when I got done with that, I was like rendering them and uploading them because I wanted to get those up before I left. And then I was going to walk down, because by then, the neighborhood had quieted down a little bit. And so I was going to walk down and, hold on, let me switch out of this. I was going to walk down to the pool then, but I was like, don't rush it. You can do those videos tomorrow. Don't rush it. So, took the dogs out, and then I shaved around here. And then I took a shower and put on a very exciting outfit of black shorts, a blue t-shirt, and these are like my favorite Birkenstock sandals right now. Put those on with a hat. Didn't do my hair. I was like, I've done my hair a lot lately. And we have a wedding on Saturday, so I'll have to do one of Alex's really good friends. My neighbor is outside checking her garden. So I'll have to do my hair for that. Oh, and the mourning doves are here. Okay, let me tell you something interesting that happened. So, I always order the Uber, like, right at 4:15. And I always get to the appointment, like, 10 minutes early. So, I was sitting down in front of the computer, and, I was, like, getting videos finalized and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, I better call my Uber. I looked, and it was, like, 4:16. So, I was like, I better call my Uber. So I go back and forth between Uber and Lyft, just depending on like which one's the closest one. And so I ordered this Uber. This is actually the second time that this has happened to me with Uber. And so to be honest with you, I didn't really think a whole lot about it. The first time that it happened, I was standing, because I always stand at the end of the driveway when they show up. I was standing at the end of the driveway talking to my neighbor next door. I don't even know if I talked about this on here. This was probably like 2 months ago. I don't even know. I think I was going to my hair appointment or something. And I could see it, because you know you can see it on your map when it's like coming down. So I could see that it was coming down the street. It got halfway to the street. I literally saw the car, and it stopped, and it turned around. I mean, you can see the driver's name and stuff. I did not know who this person was. So it wasn't like, I don't know what happened. But I remember saying to maybe it wasn't, I don't know. Maybe I ended up canceling that appointment or something. I don't remember. I think I ordered another Uber, and then I just got there late. I can't remember what happened. But I remember my neighbor next door, he's so nice. He was like, well, do you want me to take you? And I was like, oh, no, you don't worry about it or whatever. But I was like, what just happened? Like, they literally just, did I talk about that on here? I don't remember. Well, today, because it's like quitting hour time and all that kind of stuff, it was getting me to the appointment. So it was like, I think it was like 16 minutes to wait. So it was going to get me to the appointment like at 4:55, and the appointment started at 5, which was fine. So I'm like watching it like go down in time. I'm very prepared for stuff like this. So I'm out here, doors are locked, have my bag. You know, I'm sitting here, I'm looking on my phone, I was listening to music. And I'm like following him. And all of a sudden he comes into my neighborhood. I don't know why, but with Uber, they send it around that way, around the lakes, instead of just coming straight down the street. And so he's going around, and he gets to the back gate. I can see him there. He gets to the back gate, and he just stops. And so I'm like, does he think I'm coming to the back gate or something? Or is he trying to get out? Because there's a street that runs behind us. And so I was like, does he think I'm on that street or something? I mean, it shows I'm not on that street. And I'm like, is he confused? And so I messaged him on there and I said, I'm out in front of my house. You're like really close to me. He didn't message me back. And so I sat out there for like 5 minutes. I'm standing by the mailbox. I'm standing out there. My back is hurting today. I'm like 80% convinced that I'm in the process of, do you call it passing a kidney stone when you just have a kidney stone? I don't know, but I'm in the process of kidney stone right now. I'm like 80% convinced. So anyway, so I'm standing out there at the mailbox. I'm like leaning over it. And the mail guy, who I know real well, he had come by our way, but he was going by the other way. He goes, are you okay? And I go, yeah, I'm just like waiting for this Uber and stuff. And he was like, oh, he was like, okay. So a couple more minutes go by and I message the guy again. And I'm like, are you okay? No response. And he's just in the same spot. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, he's just in the same spot by the back gate. And I'm like, I guess somebody's still doing some work out here. I couldn't really figure out what work they were doing, that one. That's like down there somewhere. But anyway, so then all of a sudden, like, when I said okay, I could see he was still down there. Like 30 seconds later, he cancels the ride. I was like, oh my God. Well, now I'm like real late to the appointment. So I texted Alex. Well, then I got on Lyft, and I was like, I ordered a ride on Lyft, and it was going to be here in like 12 minutes. But it was going to put me, at that point, it was going to put me at our appointment at like 5:22, when our appointment started at 5. And so, by the way, I have my espresso tonic that I took to the appointment and opened at the appointment, so I have about half of it left. And it was warm by the time that I opened it. I wanted it like crisp. They're okay. I will tell you, if you got these, I like them on ice. I like them better straight out of the can, cold. But they're okay on ice. Did I say I like them better on ice? No. I like them out of the can. But they're okay. Did I say okay? They're okay on ice. Anyway, so ended up getting this Uber. The gal that picked me up, she was great. She was so sweet to talk to. We talked about TV shows the whole way over there. She loves Love After Lockup. We were talking all about Love After Lockup. And I was talking about how I had just gone to Vegas and that I really wanted to run into Brittany and Marcelino. She's like, they broke up. I said, I know, I just found out. She's like, well, I think, they said it's not, but I think it's because they had the three-way with that girl that she was in love with. I said, oh, I'm not there yet. She goes, you're not there yet? I ruined it for you? I go, yeah, I go, but it happened like 10 years ago, so it's fine. She was laughing. We were talking all about, I was like, are you watching Life After Lockup? She's like, of course. And we were talking about Brooke and JK, and we were talking all about Love After Lockup. We were getting rowdy talking about it. But anyway, so maybe it worked out the way it was supposed to. But I was telling her, I was like, this is the second time that this has happened where an Uber driver has canceled on me. Like, I don't, like, right at the last minute. Like, I don't, it's not like, I mean, I've had Uber rides before that, like, they'll schedule it. They probably get, like, a higher priced ride or something. And so, like, 3 minutes or 2 minutes, you know, or even a minute, like, after they schedule it, they'll cancel it. I understand that. This was like, I mean, this guy was down by the gate in our neighborhood. I mean, literally, I could have walked. It said 650 feet. I could have walked to him. The other guy that came, this was 2 months ago or whatever, like, I don't know when it was. I could see his car. And then he just stopped and turned around. And I was like, what just happened? So anyway, I didn't know what happened to this guy because when he canceled the ride, then you no longer can communicate with him, obviously. So I was like, well, I hope he's okay. I don't know what happened. I thought, and I'm in my head, right? I'm like, trying to figure out what happened. Like, did he get confused and he thought he had to go out the back gate and they just canceled the ride because it was too much trouble? Because the back gate's locked all the times, unless you have like a remote to open it. So I was like, was he confused? Did he not understand? And then I was like, well, I hope something didn't happen at the last minute. And then he like had to cancel the ride because, you know, like I post this thing actually on Instagram because this is so me. Where is it at? It says, my top assumptions when the doorbell rings. 1, murderer. That's always number 1. 2, police telling me that everyone is dead. Or 3, the book I ordered about positive thinking. That is so true to me. But no, really, I always think, hold on a second. I always think like, I was like, oh my God, did he get some bad call and he had to like cancel my ride because like, you know, something had happened or whatever. So I didn't think anything more about it. So I get to the appointment. She actually got me there a little bit early. I was I didn't get there that late. I got there late, but I wasn't that late. We had a good session and all that kind of stuff. And so when I got there, I was like, I'm sorry I'm late. And our therapist was like, no problem. And Alex was like, yeah, I told him. Because I texted Alex. And I said, this Uber ride just literally canceled. And I said, I'm going to be getting there really, really late now. And he goes, what time? And I said, 5:22 or something like that. And he said, hold on a second. Where's my text with my husband? Well, first of all, the guy was really slow. And I said, I'm going to be late. My Uber is taking a really long time. He said, okay, babe. And then I said, my ride is in the neighborhood and just canceled. And he said, I'm sorry, babe. He said, I can just do the session by myself if you can't make it. And I said, and then he said, what time are you supposed to get here? And I said, I'm going to get there earliest at 5:21. So I guess that's when it was. But so then he called me. And he was like, I can just do the session by myself. He was like, I haven't, had a session for a while by myself, whatever. I was like, well, do you have anything to talk about? And he was like, no, not really. He was like, but you're not going to get here till 20 after. Well, at that point, I had showered and stuff. Like, I kind of wanted to get out of the house. I kind of was like, you know what? I wanted to stop at the grocery store on the way home. But I was so focused on, I got to get home and vlog and deal with the dogs and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, deal with the dogs. Take the dogs out so they can go upstairs to the bed with Alex for the hour while I vlog. They've been so good today, the little guys. They are so sweet. I love them so much. But anyway, so I have so many. My phone is just pictures and videos of these little guys. So many pictures and videos of these little guys. I think actually last night I was going to take another picture. I didn't. Because, or did I? No, those were pictures I put up on my Instagram. I was going to take pictures of them last night. Let me delete these pictures that I posted on my Instagram of the unknown caller of my video that I uploaded on my phone. Do you guys think I should get these shoes? You tell me. They're these Vans I saw this guy in Las Vegas have, but they're called the Vans Lowland 2.0 shoe. I think they would look cute with khakis. I actually ordered a pair of khakis and a pair of blue pants. They were super, super cheap. And I was like, we'll start with that. They were $22 each. I was like, we'll start with that. But anyway, so I was like, no, I just want to get out of the house for a little bit. And Alex is like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. We didn't have tons to talk about in our therapy session anyway. So we go to therapy. We're on our way home. I was like, what are you going to do when you get home? I was like, I have to vlog. I said, I'm going to take the dogs out and stuff like that. And he was like, okay. He's like, well, I can hang out with them after that while you're vlogging. He's like, I'm just going to heat up my pizza because he got pizza last night. And he's like, we have Housewives to watch. And I said, yeah. And I said, well, when I get done vlogging, I'll heat up my food and then we can watch the Housewives because I have tons of food left over from last night. So he was like, okay. And I have mac and cheese from the other night, but I told Alex, I said, you can have it. I didn't really like that mac and cheese from Harry and Izzy's. He's like, you're not going to eat it? I go, I don't know, probably not. I said, plus I got enough pasta in there. And I still have some of my sweet potato casserole from Friday. So anyway, he's watching The Residence, and he said it's really good. He said, I like how they filmed it. I go, what does that mean? He goes, I don't know, I just like how it's filmed. The little chipmunk. Well, hi, honey. Hi, honey. Ran away. So I was like, well, I'm going to vlog, then we can watch the Housewives and whatever. So we come in through the back gate. We're coming in. I'm not even like really thinking about it. And there's this guy parked with his tire leaned up against his car. And like, there's another car sideways, like out, like helping him put on a new tire on this car. And I look at it and it's a silver Impala. And I was like, and you know, like, sometimes your head works real slow. Like, your brain works real slow. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, you're not connecting the pieces yet. Like, you know there's pieces there, but they're kind of floating like this. They're not floating together like that. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so I'm, like, looking, and I'm like, who is this guy changing his tire? This poor guy, what happened to his tire? And then I look, and I'm like, Silver Impala. I'm like, this is the Uber driver. I don't understand why he wouldn't have just said I got a flat tire, I had to cancel, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, I'm sure in that moment he had other things, but like, hey, what's that? What are you listening to? Oh, I was going to go look. Do they have a chain already? Take your AirPods out of your ear. She's laughing at me. Do they have the chain up already? All the furniture's gone? Already? I was going to try to go tonight because it's so nice. Well, we went yesterday. You made it yesterday. Did you have your chocolate beer last night? Did you have your chocolate beer last night? Did you have your chocolate peanut butter beer? You had 2?
No, I just had one.
The chocolate peanut butter beer.
What can I say?
You're living wild. Bye. Okay, so this is my friend that lives in the neighborhood. She actually was the one that I met up at the pool yesterday besides Laura. And I actually met another woman through her. Did I even talk much about the pool yesterday? Oh no, because I vlogged yesterday and then I went to some, I haven't talked about the pool yet. I haven't talked about the pool. Okay. So, because I vlogged, I forgot about that. I was like thinking of the timing of the vlog and stuff. I vlogged and then I went to the pool. So she was my friend at, that I met at the pool that when I was vlogging, I said I'd be there at 3:15. I got there a little bit after that. But anyway, so, did I say that already? I don't remember, but she was at the pool. There was actually quite a few people at the pool. Now I'm like, did I vlog after the pool? Now I don't really remember. I think I vlogged before the pool yesterday. It doesn't matter. But anyway, we'll talk about the pool in just a second. Because it was real cute what happened at the end. But anyway, so yesterday I was teasing her about her and the other friend. Oh my God, this lady in the neighborhood. The one that's in the relationship with the guy, they were both single. Her dog was in the backyard. And there was like a pack of coyotes out there. And we used to see coyotes out here, but since Laura has gotten her dog, so both Laura's dog and their dog is like a big dog. It's like big dogs. We haven't seen like coyotes or anything out here. And I mean, since they got their dog's like 4. I haven't seen any coyotes out there. But anyway, this is like way on the other side of the lake. This woman, I feel so bad for her. Oh my God, the tripod fell right as I was getting into this sad story. So, okay. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. They were telling me the story yesterday. They're like, did you hear what happened? I was like, no, what happened? It was like 2 o'clock in the morning and she was taking her dog out before she went to bed. So she let it out. So she's like on the corner. She's got these beautiful flower boxes and stuff in her driveway. So she's like in this corner and her backyard backs up into the woods. So she's in the woods. Well, she took her dog out. Her and her sister are the ones that are raising the brother and sister that the elderly person passed away and they have the 2 dogs. Okay, so I think she's got the brother and her sister's got the sister, or vice versa. Anyway, they both look like Boo Radley. So she's taking her dog out, and she saw these coyotes. So she started running after these coyotes, telling them to get away, get away, get away. And the coyotes were just standing there. So she ran to get the dog, pick up the dog, and as she did, she like slipped in like mud and something. I don't know, but she like broke her leg and sprained her arm and all this. Oh my God, all this horrible stuff happened to her. The dog's fine. The coyotes went away and they left. And she told them later, she said, and you know what? She goes, those coyotes didn't even try to attack. They just sat there and watched me the whole time. Well, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning and nobody could hear her like in the condos around her because she's behind her condo. So at the top of her lungs, she's like screaming and she's like, somebody help me, help me. She said she told them that she laid there for like, they went and saw, I guess she was in the hospital. They went and saw her in the hospital and then she came home. But she laid there for like a half an hour. And then finally, the guy that lives on the other side of the woods behind her, you know, like when I'm filming and you can see the woods that like along behind the pool and all that kind of stuff that goes over in the other neighborhood. A guy on the other side of the neighborhood walked through the woods and found her. And she's like, oh my God, thank you so much. And called the ambulance that came to pick her up. Dog's fine, she's good, and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, so they were telling me the story about that yesterday. But I was joking with her because that's who she drank the chocolate beer with. Well, she said, I have a new favorite now. And I said, well, what's your new favorite? And she said, my new favorite is I like anything chocolate and peanut butter. And I go, oh my God, I do too. And this other woman that lives like across the street from her that moved in, we were talking about, she moved in, her mom passed away. I think she said her mom was 95. So her mom passed away and she moved into her mom's condo. She actually, remember she was walking by, well, I feel like I'm talking just to, hey friend, how are you? But she walked by here the other day and I was like, I don't know this woman. And she said hi to me. It was her. Like I had never met her before. Well, I met her at the pool. Oh my God, we clicked so quick. And so her mom passed away. And so she moved into her mom's condo. I was like, oh my God, it's kind of like me. Because when my mom passed away, I moved into her condo. And then my friend the funny one that just walked by, she's like, a lot of people move in here after their parents pass away. You're not the only two. And I was like, well, try to ruin our story for us. But anyway, so we were all talking about how we like chocolate and peanut butter stuff. And she's like, well, I found this. She called it some brand. My back is hurting so bad. But some chocolate and peanut butter beer that she just loves. And I said, does it taste like a Reese's cup? This is how dumb I am, okay? And she goes, well, actually, she goes, the beer can is in the shape of an egg. I go, is it really? That's really cool. She goes, of course it's not in the shape of an egg. She goes, that's stupid. But that would be kind of cute, wouldn't it? But anyway, so she was telling me, she was like, I'm going to go home, and she had something she was going to heat up, and then she said, when I go sit down to watch my movie tonight, I'm going to have my she allows herself one chocolate and peanut butter beer a night. And so I said, well, don't go too wild. Don't have more than one. She goes, no, I just need one a night. I just like the taste of it. And so she was like, I'm going to have my chocolate and peanut butter beer. So when she was walking by, I asked her, I forgot about the chocolate. She said, oh, no, I have my chocolate and peanut butter beer. So anyway, that was part of the pool yesterday. The pool was fun. So anyway, so I think my Uber driver, I think the reason he canceled on me was because the poor guy got a flat tire. I feel so bad for him, you know? I mean, he could have just messaged me and I would have been like, hey, I'm sorry. Do I need to call somebody for you? I can call AAA for you or somebody like that to come out there. I mean, when I saw him, but I was like, but am I remembering it correctly? Was it a silver Honda Civic or was it a silver Impala? Was it just, I don't know. So that might not be related at all. That might not be my Uber driver. And I might be just making the true crime up in my head. Ever since I watched, what was the show that I watched about memory? It was about false confessions, the yogurt shop murders. And they talk in there about, like, when you remember a memory, you're really remembering the memory, not the event. And then they go and they talk about, like, that is so screwed with my head. Because now I'm like, well, how accurate are my memories? Probably not very accurate, you know what I mean? And neither are yours. So anyway, good thing I have people out there that are documenting every moment of my life, because if it wasn't for them, I don't know what I would do. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I don't know if that was my Uber driver or not, but whoever it was had a friend out there that was changing his flat tire for him, and I think that's awful nice. I do. Okay, so now we're home and took the dogs out, and Otis just sits. He goes and does his business. So Otis is really good about pottying outside. Like, he comes right outside and he pees and he poops real quick. Like, every time he doesn't poop every time I come out, but he knows that's what we're there for. Okay, like, Otis gets it. Walter does not get it. Walter does not get it. Okay, so I don't know, like, you know, I said I wasn't going to share a lot about the dogs. People keep on asking questions about their age and this. And I was like, I don't want to really share a whole lot about it. I'm not sharing a bunch of, like, the vet stuff. I'm just not doing that anymore. I'm just not. I feel like I open myself up to people being like, well, is that what happened with that? And what did your vet say? And blah, blah, blah. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just not. But, okay, so the next appointment we have with them, well, they have to get, like, blood tests done, and then we already have their neutering scheduled for them. So that's coming up in the next couple weeks. But the first time that we went to the vet and saw them, which was, like, right after we got them, the vet that day, so we were there for our vet appointment and everything, and then the vet couldn't end up seeing them because she got called out because she had a child emergency with one of her children, which she ended up, I'm laughing because when she told us what the child emergency was, she even laughed at it. But, like, it was like she had to leave, so she couldn't see us. We were, like, the next appointment, and she was like, she had to leave. But we saw the vet tech because we just wanted to, like, get them weighed and stuff like that. Somebody asked, the reason I'm thinking about this is because somebody asked what they weigh now. So when we originally got them, they supposedly, Otis was like 2.1 pounds, and I think Walter was like 6 pounds or something. Do you guys remember I was like, I wish we knew how old they were and stuff like that? Okay. Well, that was around the time of that appointment. And so, because we had to reschedule the appointment to come in and see the vet and get their initial shots and all that kind of stuff. And so, that time, we really didn't do a whole lot because we couldn't see the vet because she had to leave. And there was no other vet there to see him because it was, anyway. So, they got weighed that day. We took them back and saw them and all kind of stuff. And I was asking the vet tech, like, how old do you really think they are? Because they seem pretty small to me. And she's like, well, I don't want to say. And then she was like, but they look like they have baby teeth. She's like, I'm going to let, you know, the doctor tell you what she thinks, all this kind of stuff. And she's like, how old did you think they were? And I said, well, they were born in February. So, you know, February, March, I think they were 5 months when we got them. From March to April, May to June. Yeah, they were 5 months. I said, so they'd be like, you know, five months and a couple, you know, some change at this point. She goes, oh, I don't think they're that old at all. I go, you don't? So anyway, so I was like, okay. So then we brought them back to see the doctor and did their full appointments, and they had their shots and all that kind of stuff. And that was like a couple days later. So anyway, and so when she saw them, well, first of all, she did something that was real sweet. When she saw them, she was like, what did she say to them when she walked in? she said, congratulations on finding your new dads and your new, like, not to us, to the dogs. She said, congratulations on finding your new home and to your new dads or something. It was real sweet. We love our vet so much. We told, like, when she came in, and because she'd sent us, like, she wrote us, like, a handwritten card about Boo Radley and stuff, and Alex was like, the card was so sweet, and she was like, she told us, she was like, you know, I've been with you guys through 3 dogs now, and she was like, Boo Radley was so hard for me. She was like, you guys did everything for that dog, and she was like, it was so hard for me, and she was like, I was literally crying writing the card. She's like, you know, I try to send cards out to the people that I know really, really well, my patients that I know really well. She was like, but that card was really hard because I didn't know if you guys were gonna get another dog. We had talked about it with her and stuff like that, but she was like, people change their minds, and we had built this relationship and stuff. She was so sweet. So anyway, she was so good with them. So she's doing the test and all this kind of stuff, and she's on the ground with them. She kept on feeding him all his food. I said, they're going to poop for miles. Get them out. She's like, they're just like it. She was feeding them that canned food. I couldn't believe they liked it because it was that brand that Boo Radley, well, PB had to eat that brand for when he was the kidney failure, and he hated that brand. And Boo Radley didn't like that brand either, but they just ate it up. She had him in these little plastic or paper bowls. So anyway, she said, now how old did they tell you? So we explained to her about the whole, like, surrender thing, you know? And she's like, do you know how many dogs were in the house? I said, well, initially it was 7, plus then the litter of 3. But then we found out it was 10, and there was more than 1 litter. And she's like, I hear the story a lot. And she's like, was it out in the country? And I said it was in Kentucky. And she's like, I hear the story a lot. Because I'm telling you right now, it was probably 10 plus dogs in the home, and there were multiple litters, and they don't know when the litters were born. She goes, this happens all the time. She goes, we see a lot of surrenders. This is how a lot of dogs get into rescues. Because this is what happens. She's like, you see it with the Humane Society, you see it with a lot of rescues. And she's like, and she like, we're telling about our friend, and she was like, and we're talking about the sister and stuff like that. And so she was like, look at their teeth, and she's like, no, she's like, they're baby teeth. And so I said, and then she was checking their nuggets. She was like, well, they're nuggets. She goes, they're not, she goes, at this point, now this is like the week we got them, okay? And I said, well, how old do you think they are? And she goes, I think they're probably closer to 12 or 14 weeks. I said, so you don't think they're like 5 or 6 months? She goes, oh no, not. She goes, what was their birthday? I said, February 13th. She goes, no, there's no way. She said they're closer to like 12 or 14 weeks. So then we talked to her and scheduled and did the microchipping, and then because I was asking her all about that, and she was like, oh, I totally believe in that. So then we did that, and then scheduled, I said, can we do the neuters now? She's like, yeah, we can do it. And she's like, as long as they've like dropped whatever, we can do the neuters. So we scheduled the neuter, Caroline's going to take me to the blood test, and Alex, we're going to drop the dogs off for the neutering. I think that's like in 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. So in 2 weeks, I think. Anyway, so Otis and Walter are not as old as we thought they were. So then Alex was like, well, that would make it May. Because May to June, June to July. Well, no. Yeah, because she said, no, April. So then I reached out to my friend, okay? And I was asking her about it. And I said, well, this is what the vet said. And she was like, well, it's interesting because she took their sister to the vet, and the vet said the same thing. And I was like, well, do you remember the first time that she told you about them? And she said, I thought it was like the first week of April, but it might have been the end of April. And she goes, and they were really little at that point. And I was like, okay, well, how old do you think they are? So the other thing that happened was, this just happened in the last week, was that the person that she gave their sister to, it did not work out. The videos of their sister, she sent me so many videos of their sister, whose now name is Dolly Lolly, and it was Loretta. I love all the names. But, so, the person that she gave it to was older, and couldn't like, anyway, it just had it for like a day or 2, and then brought it back. Now she wants the dog. So our friend is keeping the dog, which is kind of cool to know that Otis and Walter, like their sister, is with somebody that we know too. And she was like, do you want to get them together? I said, can we please get them together? She's like, well, I want to see them and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, let's get them together. So, and she's like, and she was like, you know, and then we can get them together all the time, and they can do play dates. So we're going to get them together with their sister. So she's keeping their sister, which makes me really, really happy. She's like, I feel like it it kind of worked out. She's like, he felt really, really bad. He like called me and he's like, I can keep him. Like the yard is great or I can keep her. The yard is great for her and everything like that. He's like, but like, you know, she's a puppy and I have to take her out all the time and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, I'm older. And so he's like, I just didn't realize that she was going to have to like going out that much and whatever. And she's like, that's fine. Because the other option was that she was going to go to a rescue, which she probably would have been. I mean, she looks like Otis, but she's bigger than Walter and she's all black. And so she was like, just bring her back. And then she kept her for like a day or two and she's like, I'm keeping her. She's like, she's great with her other dog. She's got all Yorkies. She's like, she's great with her other dog. She's like, I want her. She's like, I've had her most of the time anyway, so I'm going to keep her. So she's keeping her. And her name's Lolly Dolly Loretta or something like that. She's real cute. She's got kind of like, so Otis is the one that's kind of like always going. Walter plays it late at night, but he's very calm. He just kind of sits a lot. He's real cute. He lets me hold him like a baby. Otis kind of fights it a little bit. Otis is the alpha. And so she said that she's kind of like very kind of like Walter's attitude. So she's bigger than Walt. She's the biggest one out of the three of them. Our vet also told us that she doesn't think that Walter and Otis are going to get real big. She thinks that Walter, so when we weighed him at the vet initially, so when we first got him, my friend had weighed them and they were like, Otis was like 2.1 pounds. I don't remember how big Walter was. Like 5 or 6 pounds, 4 pounds, 6 pounds, something like that. When we got to the vet, Walter was like 5.1 or 5.2 pounds and Otis was 5.1 or 5.2 pounds and Walter was like 6.5 pounds. So they were actually really close in weight when we got them. She said she thinks that Walter is going to be, this is kind of cute. She compared him. She said Walter's going to look a lot like Boo Radley. He's going to be kind of like long and thin and long legs. And she's like, I don't think he's going to be a whole lot bigger. She said, I think maybe he'll get to like 10, 12 pounds. She said that, but I think size-wise, he's about as tall as he's going to get. She doesn't think Otis is going to get a bunch taller either. And she said Otis will probably get to be about 10 or 12 pounds too. She said that he's going to be a little pudgy, kind of like Tucker. So they're going to kind of look a little bit like Boo and Tucker a little bit, which is kind of cute. Kind of makes me happy. But anyway, so there's all the news on the boys. Let's get, to the pool situation. So, where am I at on time? I don't even know, because the camera fell. Who's texting me? Nikki is. Everybody's texting me today. Tanya's texting me. I got out of therapy, asking how therapy was. Tanya was apologizing. She's like, I'm so sorry about tonight. I was like, girl, come on now. Mel's been texting me. This is my wake-up text from Mel. Happy Tuesday, you F&B. Because she and Nikki and I all call each other F&Bs because that was our joke when we went to Arizona. And I said, you too, you F&B. Nikki's asking me, how's your day? So it was her one son's first day of school. So I was asking her last night how that was going. Anyway, okay, so yesterday after I got done vlogging and stuff, went to the pool. There was actually quite a few people there from the pool than I thought there would be. Oh my gosh. See this tripod? Did you see that fall? Okay, hold on. I'm trying to tighten it up a little bit. Okay. When I do that, I'm twisting around the bottom. So, what was I saying? No, I don't remember what I was saying. And I don't know where it stopped before. I do remember, I think I started it at like 6:22 or something. 6:25? No, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Anyway, we'll just vlog until I'm done vlogging. So, went to the pool yesterday. I asked Alex. He's like, no, I'm just going to stay with the dogs. I was like, you don't want to go to the pool for the last day? He's like, am I going to get any sun? I actually think I got a little bit of sun yesterday. So I went to the pool. I mean, it wasn't crowded. Laura was sitting at the very end. And she was sitting with this friend of hers that she like grew up with these people. And now the parents live in this neighborhood. Like they just moved in here like a month ago on the other side. So they were here. And so she was hanging out with them. But they were all like getting in the parents weren't, but she and her friend were in the pool. And then my friend that just walked by, she was in the shallow end with this woman that I didn't know. And then who else came up? Oh, Laura's mom came up to tread water. They treaded water for 47 minutes. So I got up there about 3:30, 3:35 or something like that. And I stayed up there till like 5:15 or something. And then I was like, I wasn't really sure. Okay, so let me tell you the story of the pool. It's real cute. Okay, so So then her friends left, like probably 15 minutes after I got there. So then Laura hung out in the shallow end. Well, Laura treaded water with her mom for a long time. And then Laura's mom left because Laura was going over there for dinner at 6:30 to her parents' house. And then they were going, she and her mom were going to go visit her grandma at the assisted living program that her grandma lives in now. That her grandma moved out of here and lived in the assisted living program. So her mom left. And so then it was just Laura and I and the two women. And then they left because she was going to go heat up her food. Now she's going to watch something, the other woman was going to walk. We were talking a lot about walking last night and how much we love our walks in the neighborhood. And everybody walks. All of us walk. So, and they were talking about water aerobics, which Laura called. She said to her mom, she goes, so the woman that just walked by, I joke with her so much. Well, she's part of water aerobics. So I talked to her earlier, like when I got there, and she was like, well, there was literally like, I said, how big was the biggest class that you guys had this summer? And she said 5. And I said, what was the smallest? She goes 2. It was her and my neighbor next door that put it together. And she goes, we have like a whiteboard, you know, like that we'll like write things on, like that, like exercises that we remember. So I said, well, what do you guys mostly do? She goes, talk, hang out in the pool. So Laura's mom is there, okay? And Laura goes, oh, Mom, did you hear? I'm down at the deep end. I'm treading water with them, right? So the other two women are at the shallow end. And so Laura goes, oh, did you hear? Mom, I didn't know. Did you know that they had a water aquatics program here? I start losing it, right? I go, a water aquatics program. Oh, no, they had gotten out of the pool. They were drying off, so they were beside the pool. So I turned to my friend that just walked by. I said, hey, I called her name. I said, aren't you the one that's in charge of the water aquatics program? And she goes, isn't water aquatics rather redundant? And I go, she was like, okay, all these people, these women that live in my neighborhood, she was a research professor at like a major university, okay? Did like an honorary PhD at Harvard. We live in a neighborhood of empowered women, okay? These women in here, like, I mean, it is like incredible when you hear their stories. So anyway, okay, she was mad at me because one day I was talking to her granddaughter at the pool with her daughter-in-law. She said, you got me in trouble with my granddaughter. Her granddaughter's in high school. It was when Alex and I were up there. I said, how did I get you in trouble? I go, oh, because I asked if you have a boyfriend. Because she was walking through the neighborhood this one night with this guy, and he looked real, like, intellectual, you know, like with a long beard and he had his little round rim glasses and stuff. She goes, that's my friend from Harvard. He travels cross-country every year. He does a long road trip. He goes and sees stuff. He stops in and sees me. I go, but is he your boyfriend? She goes, no, we're just friends. We used to work together. They used to work together at the University of Michigan. So we used to work together in Ann Arbor on a research team together. Now he's at Harvard. So she's like, he just stops in and sees me. She goes, but now my granddaughter won't let up on that. Peter told her that grandma has a boyfriend. I go, well, you need a boyfriend. So anyway, so I'm teasing Laura about calling it the water aquatics program. And then she's giving me a hard time saying, well, isn't that water aquatics? Isn't that redundant? I go, water aerobics, whatever. And so she's explaining it. And then Laura's mom is laughing so hard because she's like, well, did you guys do? She's like, we mostly talked. It was so funny. So then those two women left, and then Laura's mom left, and then it was just Laura and I. And so we just really didn't want to get out of the pool, but like as the shade and the shadows moved over the pool, it started getting progressively colder and colder and colder. I mean, the pool was cold yesterday anyway, okay? Like, it was a little frisky yesterday, but it was nice to get in the pool. So anyway, towards the end, my legs were almost numb. They were so cold. So we're in the shallow end, okay? Now, I've gotten out once and sat out, like, and talked to everybody and dried off and convinced myself I was coming back. But then when everybody left, I was like, or that we're leaving, Laura's mom was trading water, so I was like, I'm going to get back in the water. So I got back in the water because I wanted to be the last one to leave the pool. Stacy, I don't know why. Stacy said on one of my videos today, hey, Stacy, how are you? She said this kind of brought tears to her eyes, or I don't know, maybe she messaged me or something and said it. So Laura and I are in the pool. The whole pool is covered in shadows now. It's like, maybe it was like 5:30. Maybe I sat there for like close to 2 hours. I don't know. But anyway, at some point I texted Alex. I was like, what are you guys doing? He like didn't text me back for like 15 minutes. I was like, are you okay? And he was like, oh my God, we fell asleep. I was like, he and the dogs, they nap together. Like they just fall asleep next to each other all the time. So he's like, yeah, we're fine. So That's why I stayed a little bit longer. That's when I was out drying myself, and that's when I stayed a little bit longer. I said, well, I'm getting ready to come back. So it's just Laura and I, we were in the pool, and she started to get out, and I said, oh, are you getting out of the pool? And she goes, yeah, and I go, okay, good. And she goes, why? And I said, because I want to be the last one out of the pool. I want to be the last person out of the pool for the summer. And she turned around and got back in. She goes, no, I want to be the last person out of the pool. I said, okay, well, what if we do it together? Then we can both be the last people out of the pool for the summer. And she goes, well, weren't we the first people in the pool? I said, I don't think we were the first people. I think it was open. We waited several days. I said, but then we can be the last people out of the pool. So now that Stacy said it brought tears to her eyes, it's going to kind of bring tears to my eyes a little bit. But anyway, so, you know, you step down and there's like the railing, the handrail. So Laura's on one side, I'm on the other side. And so we walk up, and she's like, are you ready? And I go, yeah. And she grabs my hand, like, you know, under the guardrail. And so we're like, or over the guardrail. And so we're like holding hands, and we both step our foot out at the same time, and we hop out on the second foot. She's like, we did it! So we took a bunch of pictures. It was sweet. It really was sweet. We took pictures. When we were in the pool at the very end, I said, I didn't think I'd post them. They were really just for us. But I said, where are they at now? Oh, wait. Okay, I said, let me get a picture of us in the pool. So I took this picture of Laura and I in the pool. And then I took this nice picture of us in the pool. And then this was right before we were walking out of the gate. We were the last people at the pool. And then when we were walking out, well, this woman kept on coming up there and her pool key wouldn't work. And she was like, I have a guest coming that wants to go to the pool tonight, but the pool key won't work. And we were joking about how that was a good thing, because then we'd be the last ones at the pool, because if her pool key wouldn't work, we're like, we don't know what to do. I could have just given, you know. She's like, finally, we're like, well, we can just give you one of our keys. And she was like, no. She was like, I don't think we'll probably come. And so when we were walking out, she was coming back up. She's like, well, we're kind of thinking about it now. I go, if you do, don't tell us. She goes, why not? She started laughing. I said, because we were the last ones at the pool. We don't want to remember. She's like, I don't think we're actually going to come. She goes, we'll probably just sit at the pool. I go, but we still want to be the last people that left the pool. But I don't think she ever came, because I did see her and her friend walking around later. Because I got home, because I got home, and so Laura and I walked back. I said, Laura, we did it another year. Last summer, she was talking about moving and buying a house and stuff like that. She's settled down. She's done with all that. She's happy with her condo now. Now, watch, I say that in a month, she'll move. But so I said, she goes, I know, but it's going to be so long. I said, Laura, I'm not living in that. I'm not living in that. We're going to enjoy the fall. We're going to enjoy the winter. Sure, I had her walk for the day. I need to have my walk tonight. I saw her when I was leaving in my Lyft. She had her weighted vest on and stuff. And, because I was telling the Lyft driver, I was like, yeah, my neighbor, she's like your age. We closed out the pool yesterday and stuff. And I said, oh, there she is right there. She's walking by. So anyway, but Laura was like, I can't believe the summer's over. And she says, I wish I would have gone somewhere. I said, we say this every year. I said, we went to the pool a lot this year. We enjoyed the pool. I said, the pool's going to be open before we know it. We're just going to enjoy it. She goes, you're right, you're right. I said, but we didn't finish our book. She goes, F that book. That Ice Barbarians book. I'm still going to finish it. I don't think Laura's going to finish it. So we'll pick a different book next year. Oh, but my neighbor, that's who was there too when I walked in. My new neighbor across the street that they're working on her house, I love her so much. I love her and her boyfriend so much. So her boyfriend lives over here. She lives far away. So she's moving in. So she thinks like by the middle to the end of October, they should be in the condo. She was like, I said, we need to have a little party and for you. She's like, oh my God, I would love, can I host a little party? And she's like, you and Alex can come over and everybody. I said, yeah, that'd be so fun. So Laura and I were talking to her about that. She's so fun. I love her. Well, she was reading a book. And she was talking about how, like this book club that she's in, I was telling her about the book clubs in the neighborhood, that they pick books and she doesn't really like them. So we were talking about books and stuff like that. But what was I going to tell you about her that was so funny? The end of the summer, fall coming. Why did I all of a sudden think about her? I don't know. Something triggered my memory. Wiggle your toes and you'll remember it. So anyway, when I came back, I wasn't sure. Okay, so Miss Continental was in Chicago last night, the Miss Continental pageant. And it's like the national pageant that I wanted to go to always. Like, I can remember when I first came out, sitting at people's apartments, getting high and drinking, and we would watch VHS tapes of like National Entertainer of the Year. You can buy them. You can buy the DVDs or you can buy the downloads now, but before at the pageants, you could buy previous pageants, and then you would like watch them at people's apartments while you're partying and stuff like that. So we would do it, and we'd be like, oh, this is Coca Vega winning, or, you know, oh my God, this is Tasha Cole winning Entertainment of the Year. So that's how I knew about all these pageants before I ever stepped into a pageant. And we would watch Miss Continental, and Miss Continental were always like, the talent was, I mean, it was off the charts. The evening gowns were like, I mean, they were unbelievable evening gowns. You know, the presentation, it was just all of it was like unbelievable. I've always wanted to go to Miss Continental. Next year, maybe I'll go to Miss Continental. So you could stream it online for $41.86. I put on Instagram, yes, I did pay my $41.86. So I was talking to Alex, and I was like, I don't know, because I want to take a nap later, but I really want to watch this pageant. And I was like, but I could watch a little bit of the pageant and then take a nap when I got bored or whatever. And he was like, babe, you love that stuff. He was like, you'll have so much fun. He's like, just pay it. He's like, $41. He's like, that's a brunch. He's like, go buy it. He goes, go sit outside. I'll watch the dogs because you'll have so much fun. So I was all excited about it. I ordered Noodles and Company because he had ordered pizza. He asked me if I wanted pizza. I said no. So I ordered Noodles and Company. I was all ready, okay? Had my iPad out here. I was all ready to eat my Noodles and Company and start it. Well, the pageant was from 7 to 1, okay? So 7 comes, 7:05 comes, no pageant on my iPad. I mean, I am linked in to the streaming link and everything, right? And I'm like, what is going on? I was so clueless. I did not understand. Well, what I didn't realize was Chicago is an hour ahead of us. And so it wasn't going to start here until 8. So by then, I had already eaten and stuff like that. So I ate. I watched something while I was eating. Single Lives of Mormon Wives. I took everything back inside and then ate. Then I got ready again, had my coffee ready, and then I watched the Miss Continental pageant. So I watched it from like 8 until like 10 something. I made it through talent. I watched. So the way the Miss Continental starts is they introduce like. It started like right at 8 o'clock. I could not believe it. Like right at 8 o'clock. I looked at my phone. I was like, damn. It was like Jim Flint, the owner of it. He like announced it. He's like, welcome to the Miss Continental pageant. I was like, it's 8 o'clock, right on the dot. So it starts at 8 o'clock, and then they have all, like, they had the former, which I said yesterday was Zane Darling. She was 2023. Last year, the camera stopped. I swear to God, I just looked at the camera and it said 20 minutes. It must have said 29 minutes. I don't know how I forgot that Raquel Lord won last year. I mean, Raquel Lord has been somebody that I have followed for years and years and years. I don't know how I forgot that. But anyway, so then they announced the former, which was Raquel Lord, and she comes out and does a little thing. I will say the runway this year was kind of bad. It wasn't, they usually do some kind of theme. And, like the year that Erica Andrews won, like the next year they did like, it was all like characters from Mommy Dearest. They usually do some kind of theme. There was really no theme. It was like 1980s, 1990s, 2000s, 2010s, and now 2020s. And so like Brooklyn Heights from RuPaul's Drag Race was there. She was dressed up like somebody from the 80s. Mimi Marks was dressed up like a prom queen. So they introduced all the formers. Well, there were so many formers there last night because it was the 45th anniversary of Miss Continental. Then they introduced every contestant. I think there was 23 contestants, which is actually kind of a small group compared to what it used to be. They introduced all the contestants, and then they introduced the top 12. Then it they do like several performers, and then it goes into what's first? Swimsuit? It goes into swimsuit, and then after swimsuit is talent. And each talent is 7 minutes. I think 7 minutes is what you get for talent. I think it's 7 minutes. So, I mean, I watched 12 times 7 plus all swimsuits. And by then, I was like, I'm not going to sit here and watch an hour. Because then what happens is after that, it goes to evening gown. And then after evening gown, they knock it down from 12 to 5. I already knew who was going to win when I was like when they were naming the top 12. Oh, they do the preliminary night awards too. So like who won? Gadfrey won. So she's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Her talent was incredible. Her interview answer was, anyway. So before the pageant starts, before they name the top 12, they give out preliminary night winners, which was last night. So like talent preliminary interview, preliminary evening gown, preliminary swimsuit. Gadfrey won like 3 out of the 4. So I was like, she's got the package, she got the pageant. Anyway, and everybody was rooting for her anyway. There were a couple other, like with the talent, it was interesting last night. The talent was either like really good or it was really bad. Like Lana Lux came in first runner-up. Her talent was bad. I thought she's like a Taylor Swift impersonator. She looks a lot like Taylor Swift, but she does other stuff too. But last night I didn't really understand her talent and it was bad and she looked like she was going to fall through the whole thing. There was a couple other talents I really liked. Somebody sang Lady Gaga's Abracadabra live. I mean, I give it to her for singing live, but it wasn't a good version of it. Some of the talent just fell really short. So, like, when I went to lay down, I think it was like 10 or 10:15. I was like, when I get up, it'll be time. I'm like thinking I already vlogged this, but I think it was because I told a couple of my friends this today. I was like, when I get up, I'll take the dogs out, whatever, and then I'll be ready to watch the pageant. I'll still have like an hour of it left. So I will get to see interview and crowning. So what happens is they knock it down to 5. Okay, so they do evening gown, and then they knock it from 12 to 5. But in between all this, they have the former winners performing. So they're all doing like, and some of that is interesting to me, but some of it I could care less. So then they knock it down to 5, and then the top 5 do interview. And then after the interview, it's like the former, who would be Raquel Lord, I think she's like a Miss National, Miss Black America. I think she's a Miss Gay America, Miss EOI, Entertainer of the Year. Now she's a Miss Continental. She was last year's. So then they take their last walk. That's like 10 minutes. Then they come out and they like crown the winner. So I really wanted to see interview and crowning the winner. And I wanted to see Raquel Lord's last walk. So I'm sitting here. And I'm thinking, pageants always go over like the Academy Awards. There's no way. I paused it, okay, so that when I opened my iPad, it was ready to go. All I had to do was like, it was already up and linked. All I had to do was, so I took the dogs outside twice, made coffee inside, cleaned the kitchen, got distracted, ordered these pants online last night, all this kind of stuff. I finally look at the clock, and it's like 1:15, and I'm like, oh, you need to get watching the show. You've got less than an hour. It's going to be over at 2. I opened that iPad, they're literally crowning her. She like, I missed the crowning. She's like, oh my God. Like, it literally happened like 10 seconds before I was like, are you effing kidding me? The pageant's supposed to be over at 2 o'clock. Is it raining out there? So anyway, I missed the end of the pageant. Then I'm trying to rewind it, but it's a live stream, so you can't rewind it. I was pissed. I paid my $41.86 for that. But it was fun. I had a good time sitting out here anyway, even though I mean, 7-hour pageant is, even a 6-hour pageant is long. I remember my first national pageant was in Louisville, Kentucky, EOI. I've talked about this a million times. National Entertainer of the Year. Shayla Simpson won. It was 1993. I remember standing in the balcony with my good Judy, the one that I went to kindergarten, elementary, junior high, high school, college, graduate school with. I remember us standing up there, and she kept on saying, there were like 6 people back from the edge, okay? And I remember people were smoking Black and Milds around us the whole night long. I love Black and Milds back in the day. And I'm just smoking one cigarette after another and all this kind of stuff. I was so tanked. She drove home from the bar that night. She didn't drink one thing. That's probably why she was so ready to go. She drove 2 of us home. My friend that ended up taking his life and myself, she drove us home that night at like 3 o'clock in the morning from Louisville to Indianapolis because she had to work the next day at Lane Bryant. Those were the days. But we had so much fun. Because we were down there the whole week before. Oh my God, what a week that was. That week... Well, that week was a lot, but it was so much fun. But she didn't drink that night at all. But I remember she kept on like tapping my shoulder and she'd be like, are we ready to go yet? I said, girl, we're not leaving until they crown. No. She was like, we've been here this whole week. I was like, girl, we're not leaving until it's over. She's like, we've got to drive all the way home. I said, when it's over. We stayed till the bitter end. Then we were in the balcony at the Connection. If you ever went to the old Connection, there was a balcony. So everybody from the ground floor left first, and we're up in the balcony, and then everybody's in the parking lot saying goodbye, because we've been there for a week partying with all these queens from all over. Oh my God, this Queen Motion from Atlanta. I don't know whatever happened to her. But my friend Duke and I, we had so much fun with Motion that whole week. We went around that whole bar doing high kicks and things like that. She gave us all of her drink tickets because she just smoked weed. She didn't drink. We had so much fun. Oh my God, that week was so much fun. I wonder what happened to her Motion. But anyway, oh my God, we were up in the drag queen dressing rooms the whole week. That was a week. That was so much fun. But I almost said my friend's name. She was ready to go, baby. She was ready. She don't have no social media anyway. Her husband does. That's how I see the pictures of her kids and stuff. But she don't got no social media. But that's like, she was ready to go. She was like, this has been a week, okay? We had partied, and like, I think we came, like the pageant was on a Sunday night. I think we had come down the previous Sunday. I remember Terry Vanessa Coleman, back then, she was from Louisville. Oh, I was talking about Pork Chop Parker. She was from Louisville. She was back then, too. She was probably in that National Entertainer of the Year that year, but she used to work at the Connection. That's how I knew her. Somebody said something about her yesterday. Well, I didn't know Pork Chop, but I mean, that's how we knew of her because, I mean, I think I'd talked to her a couple times at after parties. We used to go to Louisville a lot. So anyway, but Terry Vanessa Coleman, who we were friends with back there, because she lived, so our friend this is how we met all of them. So our friend that lived here, he now lives in Louisville. But he moved to Louisville from Indianapolis. This was one of, like, the guys I first met when I first started going out that, like, really took me under his wing, and I met everybody through him. It was so much fun. So anyway, he did drag in Indianapolis, and he stopped after he moved to Louisville. But he would help a lot of drag queens in Louisville. So he was like, you got to come down for Entertainer of the Year. The battery just went to the halfway mark. He was like, it's so much fun, blah, blah, blah. So we came down there, but, like, so they lived in this apartment. I'll never forget. It was, like, 2 blocks from the Connection. Oh, it's his sprinkler. That's what I keep on hearing rain. It's a sprinkler across the street. So my pool crew lady number 1's husband. So anyway, so you would open this gate and you would walk in and it was like this apartment. It was like all these apartments, but there was like brick. And he thought it was like Friends because he lived next to all of his friends, like the show Friends. He loved it in there. But anyway, he lived to the left and Terry lived at the very back. And she had these 2 dogs. Their names were like, oh my God, they were like Pomeranians. They were so cute. But anyway, they would leave to go do rehearsals every day. So Terry would just be like, she had this huge thing. I think she might be sober now or something like that, but she had this big thing of pot. And she'd be like, you just need to we had to beat this gown all day long, glue gun this. We would just get so high. We were so high that whole week. Oh my God. We had so much fun. But I'm sober now. Okay, but I did have some good times. That was one of them. That week was a good times. But anyway, so last night, the pageant was over. I was devastated. Not really. I was like, okay, well, I missed 3 hours of performers. But anyway, then I was like, I don't really know what to watch. Walter got really, really tired really early last night. I don't know how. He napped most of the day yesterday. But Otis just kept on playing and playing and playing last night. It's usually the other way around. So I brought Walter up with me. Otis just laid in his bed and was playing with toys the whole night. So I was like, okay, I'm going to finish this Hostage show on Netflix. So I finished the Hostage show on Netflix last night. I don't really know what I think of it. Oh, by the way, somebody said it in a very nice comment. I responded to it in my vlog. It was the only comment I responded to last night. I was late at night. I was like, did I not? Anyway, they were talking about my movie channel. And they said, the only thing I don't know is if you don't, like, if you talk about it on your vlog, but you don't do a reaction to it, like, I'd like to know what you thought. It was a nice comment. I don't remember who left it. But anyway, about that I had watched Monsters about the Menendez brothers, but I never reacted it. And I was like, is he right? Did I not react to it? I thought I did. So I went and I looked, and it was 10 months ago. So I did react to it. Because sometimes people be like, you never reacted to this. I'm like, I think I did. A lot I miss, a lot I don't. I've got a list of like 30 things that I need to react to on my TV channel. I know I watch TV shows faster than I react to them, but... So anyway, but I just want to let you know that in case you don't read the comments to whoever asked that question. I did actually, it's on my Peter Watches TV channel from 10 months ago. I compared the documentary to the show. Anyway. Now I'm thinking, did I just read an article about it? I don't think I did that. We watched the show. But anyway, so last night I finished Hostage. I thought it was good. I don't really, like, the more I sit with it, the more I think it's better than it was. I really like the 2 female leads. Julie Delphi was the one that was from Before Sunrise. I don't know the other woman that's in it. And I don't think I knew any of the other actors that were in it. It was good. It was 5 episodes. It could have been a very long movie. It wouldn't be one of the top 10 shows I tell people they need to run out right now and see. The one I would tell everybody they need to run out and see right now is Unknown Number, the High School Catfish, the documentary. I think everybody, it's so unbelievable when you watch that documentary, so you need to go watch that. But then I finished Hostage, and it was still real early. So I was like, what am I going to watch? Well, a couple of you had mentioned The Institute, the book by Stephen King. They turned it into a TV show. It's about psychic kids or whatever. It's on MGM, but we have cable, so I can watch it. So I looked, because I saw an article the other day come up on my Peter Watches TV Instagram that it got renewed for a 2nd season. So I was like, well, I want to watch something scary. So I was like, well, maybe I'll start watching this Institute. So, because people were telling me that it was pretty good. And I love those scary shows. MGM hosts a lot of those shows. Like From is on MGM. So last night I started The Institute. I'm like halfway through the 1st episode. I think it's pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with it. It seems high quality. I mean, I don't know anything about the book. But it seems good to me, so I'm interested in watching. I'm going to continue to watch it tonight. But when I get off here right here in 2 seconds, I'm going to go inside, heat some food up, render this vlog, get it uploaded, and then Alex and I are going to watch The Housewives and hang out with the dogs tonight, probably take a nap at some point. I'd really like to take a walk tonight, too. But, oh, it's going to be 83 again tomorrow. They got the pool all locked up. I think I'm just going to run through my neighbor's sprinkler and be like, can you put your sprinkler on and we can just run through it? I should do that for a video, shouldn't I? I should just do it for live. Not everything has to be for a video, right? I should just do that. But then if I don't do it, because somebody said, on my Peter Watches TV channel, they said, this is where it's like, okay, somebody said, can you record yourself while you're watching a TV show so we can see your live reactions to a TV show? When I watch those reactions to like TV, where people are literally watching a movie or a TV show and live reacting to it, if you've ever watched those channels, they're highly redacted, okay? Like, if it's an hour-and-a-half movie, they reduce it to like 20 or 30 minutes. And some of them are not considered fair use. So you have to be very careful with what you do it with. And like there's a lot of TV shows that you cannot watch and live react to because it's copyrighted information and stuff like that. By the way, any of my YouTube videos are copyrighted information. So if you record it and put it on a third right source, I own that, just to let you know. Because people are sending me stuff about like that clips of mine are being put up and places like that. On all of my videos across the board, I don't allow them to be clipped. So when you upload a video to YouTube, you own that video. Like that's YouTube, you automatically copyright that video and YouTube owns it and I own it. So when you take a clip of that, like I own that. Like you have to embed a link of mine. You have to embed the link to share it on a third-party site, just to let you know. You cannot post clips of any of my videos on any of my channels across the board because that's copywritten information, just to let you know. But anyway, but there's a lot of TV shows that like when I did, like, what was it I did something with? You just have to be, like, you have to be careful and look it up and see, like, is this show copywritten as I can? So, like, to watch, like, Love After Lockup, I think I looked it up and it is actually copywritten. So I could not watch Love After Lockup and react to it. A Netflix show, like a documentary, is definitely going to be, because then what people would do is they would just live react to the whole documentary. I love that people want to see my live reactions to it. I think that's cute. But if I watch the whole documentary and I'm live reacting, I know people are like, well, no, just your reactions to it. There's only about 3 of you out there that would care, and I love you for that, and that is so sweet. Thank you. But the rest of people be like, what is this? Just Peter watching a TV show, and we can't see the TV show? So it would get copywritten if I uploaded the whole Netflix documentary with me reacting to it. You can't do that unless it gets copywritten. And if it doesn't get copywritten in a lot of countries, you can't watch it. So then if it gets, like in one country, let's say that Netflix show is not allowed or that song is not allowed, then your video is not able to be seen in most countries. So that's kind of how some of that stuff works. So no, I won't be doing any. I mean, I can sit there and watch, but I didn't know, like, I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but when you're watching that catfishing show, you don't know the moment, you don't know the oh shit moment. Like, you don't know it's coming, right? Like, that should be my thumbnail. You don't know that that moment's coming, right? So I wouldn't have known to be like, I mean, I was watching the show, you know, but anyway, that was cute that somebody asked me that, but. So tonight we're going to watch The Housewives. I'll probably take a nap or a walk at some point. I kind of am ready for it to get a little cooler. Oh, this is what I was going to say earlier. When it's hot, I'm kind of ready for a nap. When it's cooler outside, I'm kind of like, oh, it's like refreshing. I feel like awake. So I'm kind of ready for that. Plus, my Lyft driver said she was ready for fall. So if she's ready for fall, I'm ready for fall. And, hey, how are you? Is this not the dog's round? Is the next round the dog's round?
Pardon me?
The dog. Is it her round, the next round that you come around?
Yeah.
Next one. Well, I can't wait to see her. They stopped by yesterday to say Otis and Walter, and they were so sweet. And they were telling me that they have a little dachshund, and she's so sweet with Otis and Walter. But they all just kind of like stand there, like on their leashes, and kind of look at each other. They don't really do anything, all 3 of them. And so, but she wasn't, so yesterday they were telling me that she gets real tired because she's like 13 or 14 and she walks around and she gets real tired. So they only take her on 1 lap around the neighborhood. They're really sweet. They're really, really sweet. I was, because they're like, how old are they? And I was like, well, we think they're young. We don't really know, but we think they're younger than they are. So anyway, so we got to pick a birthday. for Otis and Walter. Then I said, so my mom passed away on May 14th. And so I was like, well, and so their birthday originally was February 13th. And so then Alex was like, that would be like May. Except my friend is saying that, she told us that she first heard about him in April, which means that May is not there. She like went back and looked. She was like, I'm going to go back and look. And she texted me. Oh my Lord, my ring came off. I shouldn't play with it. She texted me and she was like, it was in April. I don't think I ever responded to her to ask her exact date. I'll have to do that. Because then that would let us know. But anyway, I mean, it still wouldn't let us know how old they were. So maybe a March birthday. If it was at the end of April, they were probably born in April. But anyway, April babies. So I need to pick a birthday for them. I asked Alex, he's like, I don't care. You just pick a birthday for them. I wanted to know their very exact birthday, but I don't think we're going to ever know that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we're going to go and we're going to watch The Housewives tonight. I put this other thing on my Instagram last night. I shared this meme. I loved it so much. What does it say? Hold on a second. Oh, here's where I called it last night. I said it might be over before it started. Here's Gadfrey getting her 3. Oh, it's flashing. But I put on here, hold on, I gotta read it really quick. Do you mind if instead of going out tonight, I stay in my house and you stay in your house? Motto of life. I hope you guys are having a magically amazing Tuesday and a fantastic beginning to your week. If you just went back to work this week, if not, and the kids are back in school, it's fall's here. I'm ready for spooky season. I hope you guys are having a magically amazing Tuesday. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys. Don't forget to go subscribe to my channel, only if you want to, but you should. And I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you. All my channels. Subscribe to all my channels. I love you. Bye. Love you. Happy birthday, Lena.